Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you a little heads up on the final synthesis project that you'll be turning in during lesson 13. So I know it's a couple weeks away, but as you start these next few weeks, I wanted to give you a little heads up so you can start kind of creating your own vision. I'm not going to go through each of the assignments because I think you can, the instructions, I just think you can do that together as a team. You can do it on your own. But please keep in mind that for this last month, your final project has got to answer this question. What message to the world would you share about the truths found in the restored gospel, specifically that we found and discussed in the Articles of Faith? And so you've got some reminders there. Please refer back to this as you're working on this final project. I will say this, that in final projects, the two things that most people miss points for are, first, they stray from this answer. They kind of just ignore the question, and they just kind of talk about their articles of faith. They just kind of summarize them. This is what this says, and this is what this says. But they don't ever say how the doctrines found in the articles of faith address the problems in the world, the topic that they were given. The second thing that most people do that costs them points is there's no transition. You've seen this in gospel, in talks on Sunday school, when someone just shares a scripture and they kind of just assume that we as the reader will understand how to transition to the next. So don't just throw a scripture out there and leave it. And I want to show you an example of one of the a project that was turned in. Couple of things to keep in mind. First of all, this is not this project is not going to fit the instructions that you've seen, because this is a project from last semester, and the instructions have changed. We've changed the way we do them. And the other thing is this is not a perfect project. This is just a project that's got some flaws. It has some good things. So let's walk through that really quick. You'll notice immediately there's some synthesis. This group, they have identified, or they have come up with a definition of what a disciple is from the scriptures, and they've used an acronym. So very creative, very original. This is a good example of synthesizing information. Whole bunch of scriptures brought together to come up with a new format, I guess, of their information, or of the things that they're learning, their knowledge. So there's some introduction. You'll notice that each of their slides has some kind of a graphic to it. Now again, one of the challenges that we've got is to try and synthesize this information. So we've got Articles of Faith 10, 11, 12, and 13. But I would say, as in grading this and giving feedback to this, one of the things that I would suggest is that this is almost just like reading the Articles of Faith, and there's not a lot of tying this in. So as you go from slide to slide, and one of the reasons why we've changed the project the way we have is to allow you the freedom of selecting 4 articles of faith over the course of the semester that you are going to bring together and synthesize. There is one message to the world with regards to your topic, whether that's depression or divorce or same-gender attraction. You have one message to the world that you're giving, but there are aspects of that message that come from all 4 articles of faith. And again, it needs to look good. It needs to be in a PowerPoint, and it needs to be high presentation quality, something you'd be proud of. You don't want to overwhelm the PowerPoint with images, but you also don't want to have it just be text. Some of these texts, I would say some of these texts are a little too wordy. They're a little overwhelming. For example, this last one, applying the articles of faith to my life. There's some great statements here, where you get, so last semester they had a maximum of 15 slides. I believe this time you're getting 20. Keep it simple, but make sure your transitions are there. Make sure that it flows smoothly from one idea to another, and that you're presenting new ideas from synthesized information. I hope that helps. I know it's kind of a short video, but this is just, again, this is not a perfect presentation. This is definitely not a template for you to use. This is more just an idea of, you can see what one group did last semester under similar instructions but different. You'll, for example, notice that there's just one project for all of the Articles of Faith 10 through 13. Last semester, the students did, they turned in 3 separate synthesis projects. We've changed that to just one, and we're asking you to draw on 4 of the Articles of Faith that we've studied, 1 through 13, and we're leaving that up to you to help you, to allow you the autonomy and the exercise, really, of figuring out which Articles of Faith contain doctrines that, brought together, would help the world through some of these topics that you're dealing with. I hope that helps. Again, I know my purpose is not to show you how to do it, because I want your group to come up with that. My purpose here is to give you an idea, so that the creativity can start flowing, I guess. If you have any questions, I hope this has been more helpful than harmful. Let me know if I can do anything else, if you've got any questions about this final project as we get into lesson 10 next week, and you start you start seeing these instructions for the first time. If anything's confusing, you go ahead and send me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the course.